Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video. Today we're looking at Bitcoin and altcoin season, what's going to happen over the course of the next few months. As always, if you enjoy the content, please give the video a thumbs up below, hit subscribe, smash the bell notification icon, and you've also got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin waiting for you in the description of this video. Go ahead, grab it down below, and let's talk about the markets. Okay, so what's going on over the past number of months? Well, we've seen Bitcoin pulling back since those middle of January highs. We got all the way up to about $109,000 here at the 21st of January. Since then, the entire market has been pulling back. And if we look at total crypto market cap, it has been pulling back to the same extent. You can see getting up to these highs by the 20th of January and pulling all the way down. We got as high as about 3.68 trillion before moving back, breaking below the 200-day simple moving average here by the end of February, beginning of March. And currently we're sitting at about 2.62 trillion in terms of overall crypto market cap. So what's going on here in terms of Bitcoin, in terms of altcoin season? Well, let's break it down, because what we've seen, despite the fact that Bitcoin itself has been pulling back in price since the middle of January, we do have Bitcoin dominance moving to the upside. If you're not familiar with Bitcoin dominance already, essentially this is just a breakdown of what percentage of total crypto market cap Bitcoin makes up at any given time. So right now we can see at 62.81%, Bitcoin is making up 62.8% of total crypto market cap. If you're familiar with coin market cap, you come over here, you can see that pretty easily, meaning that this $1.646 trillion market cap of Bitcoin accounts for 62% of total crypto market cap, which we just saw was sitting at 2.63 trillion. Okay, I hope that makes sense as a simple breakdown. But what you've seen with Bitcoin dominance, if we zoom out on the chart here, let's zoom out to a weekly. Over the course of the past number of years, Bitcoin dominance has been on a very strong uptrend since the end of 2022. You can see this white line marking that trend over the past number of years. We did have, you could argue, the largest breakdown in Bitcoin dominance we'd seen in a couple of years here in November and December of 2024. If we zoom back into the daily very quickly, this outperformance of alts in the immediate aftermath of election confirmation in the United States meant that Bitcoin dominance took a little bit of a dive, briefly broke below the 200-day simple moving average before reclaiming it, moving sideways, and then moving back up and to the right here for the past couple of months. We're currently sitting at this 62.8% level. And interestingly, if I zoom in here, you'll notice that we haven't had daily candles closing above this level of 62% ever, or at least going all the way back to 2021. So if I zoom in on the chart here, the last time we saw Bitcoin daily candles closing above 62% was prior to this breakdown from the previous cycle. And this was the altcoin season breakdown for Bitcoin during Q1 and Q2 of 2021. So again, we didn't have daily candles close above this level going all the way back to the middle of February 2021. And if we zoom all the way back here to the present day, you can see that we got rejected, but just under 62%. We got to 62.1% here, but these daily candles marching higher over the course of the past week to bring Bitcoin dominance above 62.8% as we speak. Now, this next level of resistance marked in the chart here, if we zoom out to the weekly again very, very quickly, does go back to that time period all the way back in February, March of 2021. So we're currently getting rejected from this level on both the daily and the weekly. And why is this so important? Why does this even matter for altcoin season? Well, essentially, if we look at what happened in 2021, we saw Bitcoin dominance peaking up here around 71-72% before breaking down. This happened in December of 2020, and as Bitcoin dominance proceeded to break sharply to the downside, this was the trigger or the catalyst for altcoin season. Again, simply put, altcoin season is when you have the vast majority of altcoins significantly outperforming Bitcoin on a percentage basis, and Bitcoin isn't able to hold as much of the total crypto market cap when all those altcoins are outperforming it on a percentage basis, and therefore Bitcoin dominance has to move to the downside as many alts begin to outperform it. And during 2021, we saw that period lasting essentially January through May of 2021. We had a good 5-month run here of a sharp drop in Bitcoin dominance, going from 71% all the way down to around 40-41% before it kind of bottomed out and started moving sideways. Okay, zooming back to today, you can clearly see we haven't had that significant breakdown. We've had Bitcoin dominance moving to the upside over the course of the past number of years, and we haven't had that sharp breakdown. I have this particular trend line marked in here to try and anticipate where this might happen. Again, nobody knows when exactly this might happen. Again, this is speculation. Take all of this with a pinch of salt, guys. Just one person's opinion here. You'll see other analysts arguing that we do, in fact, need to get back up to these particular levels of 70-71% for Bitcoin dominance in order to retest this particular high going back to the last cycle where we peaked out. In my opinion, I don't know if we have to go back there, because if we zoom out even further here on the weekly, you will see that there's kind of this argument of diminishing returns. If you go back to the 2017 cycle, you had Bitcoin dominance all the way up here at 95-96% before dropping down and having a huge altcoin season run here during the course of 2017. Obviously, we didn't get back up anywhere close to 95-96% by the time we were here in November of 2020. And so we do not necessarily have to come all the way back up here to test this 70% level. Could we? Yes, we could. It's possible. But if we follow that similar diminishing returns thesis, maybe this level around 62-63% where we're retesting right now could be the point at which we get rejected before a breakdown. We definitely could come a little bit higher. It's not off the cards. You could also argue that I could shift up this particular trend line a little bit higher, maybe to 63-64%. You could also argue there's a level around here at 65% that we could come and test. For right now, I'm going to keep it here because there is clear rejection here as a level that we experienced back in 2021, but we might need to see Bitcoin dominance moving a little bit higher before we get that true altcoin season breakdown. Okay, if we jump over to the total 3 chart, which is representative of essentially total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, we can see in recent weeks we have broken back below the 200-day simple moving average. Now, this is not detrimental because you can see we did break below it here after we had that run up in 2024. We moved sideways, broke below the 200-day, but that set us up for a consolidation period here before breaking back above it in Q4 and making a bigger move to the upside. So it's not concerning me too much that we've broken below the 200-day. Of course, it would be nicer to break back above it. But if we look at this on a daily, again, what I'd like to see would be a little bit more consolidation here with where price action is happening with total 3. And if we zoom back to 2021, again, you can see that clearly this was the period, a big sharp move to the upside with total 3. This was the outperformance of altcoins versus Bitcoin during that last cycle. So again, we need to see a sharper, bigger move to the upside for the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum on this total 3 chart. We need to see this bigger move to the upside to really start to confirm altcoin season. Again, you can obviously see that if we get a small move to this direction, it's going to kind of give us the signal that we're getting started with an alt season, and you could expect it to keep moving a little bit further. And then there's also the argument to be made, we may not see an altcoin season as prolonged and as dramatic as we did in the last cycle. So again, zooming out to the daily chart here, we saw a very sharp breakdown and an extended breakdown for a 5-month period, with Bitcoin dominance dropping from 71 to 40% here. There is an argument to be made that we may not see such a sharp drawdown because, again, looking at how sharp the drawdown was in the previous cycle, it was more prolonged and sharper of a drawdown compared to what happened here in 2021. Again, maybe we don't get a prolonged altcoin season. We definitely should get a breakdown at some point in Bitcoin dominance, but it may not be for 5 months, and it may not be a 30% drawdown. It could be more like a 3 to 4 month period and a 20 to 30% drawdown before seeing it bottom out and move sideways for getting ready for the next cycle. So that's my take on what's happening here in terms of Bitcoin dominance and an altcoin season. I do think we will get some form of altcoin season, but obviously we need to see Bitcoin making moves back towards $90,000 to $100,000, breaking back above that and moving higher before I think we'll really see alts start to outperform it. Again, taking the view that we should be getting rate cuts later in this year, and the fact that we have global M2 increasing, and Bitcoin does typically follow M2 with that 8 to 12 week lag. I do think we're going to see some interesting price action here in Q2 and Q3, and hopefully in Q4 of this year. So stay tuned. Don't give up just yet. I know it's been a painful market for the past couple of months, but I do think the best is yet to come for this cycle, and make sure you pack your bags. Again, this is not financial advice, guys. If you got any value at all out of the video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below. It really helps with the algorithm. It would mean the world if you gave it a thumbs up. And the final thing I'll mention is that today's video is sponsored by Femex, the most efficient crypto trading and investment platform. Again, if you want to swap, trade, buy, sell Bitcoin and your favorite altcoins, head on over to Femex. I'm going to leave a referral link in the description of this video. Check it out for yourself. Again, not financial advice. Always do your own research, both from a technical perspective and from a fundamental perspective for any asset you're considering investing in. That's it for today's video, guys. As I said, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free gift waiting for you in the description. Grab it now, and we'll catch you in the next one.